Hi, you guys. Welcome back. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this video, I'm going to tell you the spooky story of the Watcher House in Westfield, New Jersey. So stay tuned. This story takes place at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. 657 Boulevard was built in 1905, and it is the grandest house on the most desired street in Westfield. This house is so desired that when Maria and Derek Broaddus purchased the house in June of 2014, they paid $1.3 million for this house. Derek and Maria decided to wait just a little while to move into this dream home. They had actually finally made it to the home that they wanted to spend the rest of their lives in. So they decided to take their time and actually paint the interior of the home and do just some little repair work and stuff that need to be done before actually moving into the home. So the Broadduses still lived in their old house in Westfield, while at the same time doing the minor renovations on 657 Boulevard before actually moving in. So one night, a few days after the purchase of the home, Derek was over there doing some painting on the interior, and it was around 10 p.m. when he decided to go outside and check the mail. In the pile of mail that he retrieved from the mailbox, there was a small white card-style envelope. And this envelope just had some bold, blocky writing. And the envelope was addressed, "The New Owner." And so Derek decided to open this letter and to read it. And here's what it said. "Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched this house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. You have children. I have seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I have counted. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family, or was it greed to bring your children? Once I know their names, I will call them and draw them to me. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am in one. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I'm in one. Look out any of the many windows at 657 Boulevard at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. And then the letter concluded, and it said, "Welcome, my friends, welcome. Let the party begin." And then the signature was in a typed cursive font, typed just like the letter was, and it was just signed The Watcher. And so obviously when Derek was done reading that note, he ran throughout the house and he turned off all the lights in hopes of whoever it is that might be watching him could not see him any longer because of the darkness. After turning off all of the lights to gain some sense of control of the situation, Derek then called the police, who came to the house and looked at this letter that Derek had received. The police actually told him to try not to tell as many people as possible because as of right now, all of his neighbors were a possible suspect. And Derek then went home to quickly check on his wife and his children and make sure that everyone was okay. Obviously, from this moment on, in the new house at 657 Boulevard, Derek and Maria no longer felt safe. And they no longer felt like the dream of a life that they saw for themselves lied ahead. At least not until they could find out who was behind this letter. And for the next couple of weeks, there were no more letters. And so the family just kept on going with the minor renovations of 657 Boulevard. And one day, 2 weeks later, Maria and the kids decided to go on over to the house to check on some paint samples and to make some decisions on colors that they wanted some of the walls to be painted. And while she was there, she decided to check the mail. And that's when she saw that familiar white card-style envelope with the black, bold letters. And this time it was addressing them by name, even though he had spelled their name incorrectly. And this time it said to Mr. and Mrs. Broaddus. And this letter states, "Welcome again to your new home at 657 Boulevard. The workers have been busy, and I've been watching you unload carfuls of your personal belongings. The dumpster is a nice touch. Have they found what's in the walls yet? In time, they will. I'm pleased to know your names now, and the name of the young blood you have brought me. You certainly say their names often. Is she the artist in the family?" And that little question, "Is she the artist in the family?" really freaked Maria out, because at this point, the Watcher is referring to her daughter, who is on the back porch painting with her easel. And it is in a more secluded part of the home where it is very limited on who could be seen or who could see that porch where the daughter paints. This was just getting way too close to home for Maria. But let me finish the second letter. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream. Will they sleep in the attic, or will you all sleep on the second floor? Who are the bedrooms facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who's in which bedroom. Then I can plan better. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher, and I've been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on, and kindly sold it when I asked them to. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession. And now you are too, Broaddus family. Welcome to the product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to 657 Boulevard, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving in day. You know I will be watching. So, after this letter, Derek and Maria stopped bringing their children to the house at 657 Boulevard. At this point in time, this is exactly when they were no longer sure if they were ever even going to move in to their dream house. At this point, the family has decided to kind of ignore the house, even though some of those renovations were still continuing on, because eventually they would have to decide to either move into the house or to sell the house. So they just continued with what they were doing in that regard. The Broaddus family has also been taking care of the lawn and the snow removal and everything, but they never ever did move into 657 Boulevard. Now, after that second letter, it was a few weeks later when they finally received the next letter. And this one was short and sweet. And it just stated, "Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you." And later they received yet another letter. And this time the Watcher is starting to sound a little unhinged. 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It is coming after me. I don't understand why. What spell did you cast on it? It used to be my friend, and now it is my enemy. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. It is not in charge of me. I will fiend off its bad things and wait for it to become good again. It will not punish me. I will rise again. I will be patient and wait for this to pass, and for you to bring the young blood back to me. 657 Boulevard needs young blood. It needs you. Come back. Let the young blood play again like I once did. Let the young blood sleep in 657 Boulevard. Stop changing it and let it alone. After that, they did finally find someone to rent the home, because at this point, no one was willing to purchase the house, because Derek and Maria were actually very forthcoming in their sale of this home, and they were sure to tell everyone who was interested what was going on as far as these letters, because they knew that with what they had been going through and the stress that it has caused, they wouldn't want someone else to blindly walk into that as well. So that is actually very nice of the family to do. But since they couldn't sell the house, they finally did find a couple to rent the home. Now, at this point, the police, they've been looking at a couple of suspects and stuff, but there's not enough evidence as to who has sent these letters. So no one has been arrested or formally charged with what is going on. So this is all remaining a big mystery for years. And so finally, after these new renters had been moved into the home, Derek had gone to the home to help get rid of a squirrel problem that they were having on the roof. And so while he was there, one of the renters of the home handed him an envelope. And so when the renter handed Derek that familiar looking envelope with that familiar looking bold black writing on the front, he read the front of the envelope, which said, "Violent winds and bitter cold, to the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife, Maria." And he read this letter, which states, "You wonder who the Watcher is? Turn around, idiots. Maybe you even spoke to me, one of the so-called neighbors who has no idea who the Watcher could be. Or maybe you do know and you're too scared to tell anyone. Good move. I walked by the news trucks and they took over my neighborhood and mocked me. I watched as you watched from the dark house in an attempt to find me. Telescopes and binoculars are wonderful inventions. 657 Boulevard survived your attempted assault and stood strong with its army of supporters barricading its gates. My soldiers of the Boulevard followed my orders to a T. They carried out their mission and saved the soul of 657 Boulevard with my orders. All hail the Watcher. Maybe a car accident, maybe a fire, maybe something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away but makes you feel sick day after day after day after day. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Loved ones suddenly die. Planes and cars and bicycles crash. Bones break. And then finally, the last letter that they had received simply said, "You are despised by the house, and the Watcher won." In the end, Derek and Maria have a new tenant living in the house, but the rent doesn't even cover the large mortgage of 657 Boulevard. So, even to this day, they try to avoid the house as much as possible. They only go by if it's absolutely necessary. And they live pretty much free of this worry of the Watcher, but there are still lingering effects such as the mortgage they have to continue to pay for their beautiful dream home that turned out to be a nightmare. I don't know, you guys, if I found myself in a similar situation as this family, I feel like I would probably make a similar choice as the choice that they made to just simply not move into the house. Because I can handle quite a bit, but one thing that I cannot handle is to not feel safe in my home where I sleep and where my children sleep. There is no way that I would take away my personal security just to have a big fancy house. So I agree with the family in that decision. I feel like if it was me, I would have definitely done something very similar to what they had done here. What do you guys think you would do if you found yourself in a situation where you had an anonymous watcher on your house, and even after years of investigating, you and the police have come up with nothing? What would you do? Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button. And you can share this video with all your friends on social media. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe right under this video. And once you have subscribed, you can then click the bell to be notified each and every time that I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.